Jimmy was a student that played football in college. He was a college guy. And Doc was he was Idi Amin's doctor after I left. He was educated in Lausanne, Switzerland. The man spoke French like he was born in France. I said, Doc, how do you fix your mouth to say all those? Because me and Doc, we was in Algeria together, then we went to East Africa together. But one of them Africa Ooga Booga sisters, you know, with they dashik, you know, they long dresses and everything, and their hair wrapped up. What are y'all's name now? I say, I'm Hank, this is Doc, and that's Jimmy. And it was a joke to her, because all their names was Sister Ooga Booga, Brother Unga Bunga, you know what I mean? And Negroes, they came back to, I don't want to get on it, but them Negroes, they would come from back here. When they dashikis would come to settle the land. And you know, they would leave after a while, because Africa don't play with niggas, you know what I mean? And then, just imagine them big them big naturals, I mean, that big. And they'd be out in the bush, and they'd have that boy full of that hairspray. All that stuff smelled. And the animals, I mean, every flying, creeping animal loved that. Woo, them niggas smell good. And they would be, the niggas would walk through the bushes, and his hair would get cut. I said, boy, these people. I said, well, Doc, I guess me and you is out of place around here. But them guys, I don't know, I'm gonna get back to the point. They were inappropriate, and it showed. So, now anyway, everything that happened in Africa was an education, was a training. All the time visiting Europe, Scandinavia, you get a chance to learn about social democracies, social democrat. You get to travel, that's what the Quran says. And then you get a chance to live in South America and work in South America. And pretty soon, you acquire all of this history, right, of all of these peoples. And pretty soon, you become super educated, because the people you're dealing with are people that are in the environment. They're not book writers and readers. You at people's house. You're doing business, you know what I mean? So you are learning what the people learn. You're not going to a hotel and going on a cruise to a village, you know what I mean? To see the African, they in the village and they making the car. No, you with the people, either Somalis, or good friends, or what have you. In fact, one of my best friends was, I call him Congo Slim. You know how niggas, they're gonna, everybody iceberg Slim. So Congo Slim, he was Somali, but imagine how he spoke Italian, because Italians used to be in Somalia. He spoke Swahili. He spoke his own language, and including which is Arabized. And he spoke one of the languages, he spoke French too in the Congo. That's why we call him Congo Slim. Actually, his brother Hussein. So he was, we used to hustle together, you know. So he's Somali, I'm a Negro, you know. And one of the things he said, he says, Mr. Hank, why you always talk about the white man? He said, what's the difference? He said, it's the color. Because they're looking at us, African Americans. We eat the same food as white folks. Right now, we know we're different, but they can't see it. What is the difference between you? What's the difference? It's That's what they were saying.
Right.
Right? Because we had the same attitude. Me, niggas would do that, I'm telling you. Just like the Tarzan movies. Me, Johnny Jones. You, and then they play with us. Me, my nigga. Then later on I realized, hell, there ain't no Mandinkas in East Africa. They was all 2,000 miles away. But the niggas was watching the movies and they out the Mandinka warriors. Everybody wanted to be. So we would ask people, I'm gonna get back to the stuff in a minute, but this stuff is hilarious.
It is.
What do I look like? Who do I look? Oh, you look like Mandinka warriors, because they all knew, they think the African is dumb. He got a PhD, the niggas, you know what I mean? Unbelievable.
That's wild.
You know, no, it's unbelievable, but see, those were experiences, and then you reflect on it, and remember what Pete O'Neill asked. He said, send me some of those tapes on your reflections of East Africa. Right, what I thought about, he's been there all the time. Why you need to know about that? Right, he's there, the Malcolm X Center up in Arusha. He's done a good job, but why you need to hear it from me? Because the reflection and the coming back here. He put out a tape in '83. He said, I hear, he says, he was thinking about renouncing his citizenship. I think I might still have a tape, what do they call them, big old things?
VHS.
VHS, yeah. So, he was talking about the professor that had passed away. It was a brother we call him Professor. Professor was the oldest one. He was very old. And his mother was a Garveyite, so all your he said, Mama, they came here back, and the Garvey's newspaper, hey man, Kwame and Nkrumah, all up and down the coast of East Africa, that paper went to those places, and they had, it's unbelievable what we had to do with their liberation. Right. Unbelievable. That Marcus Garvey was more popular in Africa than he was here. They knew, they studied, or we heard about it, but they studied his concept, they looked at it, they knew what he was saying. Okay, so, hey man, the people, it's unbelievable, the contributions that we done made to history. But anyway, so the Negro, he has failed in so many ways. Now I'm going to go on, and I'm going to get back to what we came to talk about. We came to talk about leadership, and we would never get there if we keep talking about the Negro and the stuff that he's done. Negro psychology. Hey man, reflecting on Africa was reflecting on Africa and South America, the games you have to play. Because I'm in South America, and I'm the only one there. I mean, I have people come down every time we have a shipment or something. But the rest of the time, I'm there by myself. And the white boys from Canada, we did so much business down there with, like any white person that would come, or any American or Canadian, if they came down there, we can look, you got any little something. So we do take all of the business down there. And so then they gave us a little something to I said, okay, so they gave us a few kilos. So I said, y'all take them up, the two white boys, to my friends and meet them and such and such. So I hooked it all up. They were supposed to meet. Them white boys went on up through the United States straight to Canada. And they didn't have nothing to do with the Negro. And there was enough that I heard they was buying, when they came back, broke, of course. One of them came back flat broke. I said, yeah, I heard you up there buying diamond rings and riding around in limousines. Well, I hear you the big coke man now. I said, well, y'all left me here with a gold mine. Y'all run off. Of course, you thought the Colombians was going to finish the job because Colombians are saying, hey, man, where's our money? So I worked it off. I worked it off myself. And I didn't run off. And that gave me super credibility. Because they know I could have waited one night and I could have got out of town, jumped in the airport, and I'm gone. But I stayed. And I took care of all the business. Every time somebody come to the big tacking down my hotel here and there, hey, y'all need a little something. It was hard because you got to remember, I'm black and all the customers were white. And they didn't particularly trust Negroes. They had no reason to. They definitely didn't have no reason to trust no Negro because every Negro I know dealt with white people. If they gave the Negroes the money, they was in trouble. They wasn't going to get nothing. And even if they did give them the money and they got the product, it wasn't worth a dime. It was terrible. So they come down there and give me, I got you covered, I'll hook you up. Pretty soon the word got out, and so we took care of it. When they got back, I was in the gym and the white boy walks in the gym. Yeah, I said, yeah, good for you. What's up? Heard y'all was up there in Toronto, that's where y'all from. Boy, y'all was partying. I hear y'all that turned nigga up there because y'all had diamond rings and limousines. That's what they were doing. You look at them old movies, Mr. Big, limousines. I say, yeah. Well, and then we want to get a little something. So, won't nobody give us nothing unless we go through you. So, I told him, well, I'll hook you up. When I went to hook him up, the people was going to give him some garbage. I said, you can't give him garbage, you got to give him. Well, they run off and I said, we paid you back. So anyway, I looked out for them too. But that blow was so good, you could walk in the house, or maybe the Negro was getting good. I could take a whiff, and I could walk to the cabinet. I said, the cocaine is in the cabinet. This is serious. I said, I can smell it. It's in the cabinet. It got so, they thought it was super special. that they got the kind of guidance system. But no, you just get used to doing what you're doing, and you can smell where the cocaine is at, But anyway, it's a reflection on all of that. So, in this mission, the mission is quality over quantity. Quality over quantity. And how you respond to your environment. Example. Maybe 10 years ago, I was just like any other senior citizen, or maybe 65, something like that. But I still thought about girls just like everybody else. Boy, that's tender there. I do this, I do. It's sweet. And then the next day, girls. I said, so that's the white man that gave me something. Because it's too fast. You know what I mean? It's like all other stuff that happened. The man is crazy. One day you turn in flips, next day you can't walk. And then the day after that you turn in flips again. This is ridiculous. On a regular basis. So, I'm saying, girls, they repel, you feel repulsed. Girls, ugh, maybe like a 10-year-old or a 9-year-old, something like
Right.
that. You know what I mean? They're just girls. God. So now, boss man's thinking, oh, if we make him lose his mojo, he'll spend all his time worrying, trying to drink something, take something to get his juice back. I didn't do that. I said, okay, boss man did that. Now, I don't have to think about girls anymore because boss man done hooked me up, so I don't think about girls. The boss, in other words, he doing stuff for you to do one thing with it and you do another. Just what he don't expect. I ain't gonna take nothing, I ain't gonna spend no time. He done liberated me. I don't have to worry about getting married, I don't have to worry about, cause he done got it with, girls? I mean, really repelled. I said, I know somebody gave me something for that to happen. One night, you walking around and, boy, that's a nice looking lady there. Of course, you ain't staring at nothing, and you know what I mean. And, so, that's an attitude. It's a saving force. If whatever boss man do to you, you're going to change it to a benefit. It don't make no difference what it is, and you're going to let him know you can't do nothing. And anything you do, we're going to change it to a benefit. And we'll get to some of that a little bit later. So, the other thing I want to talk about is feedback. A lot of talks that we are giving are very detailed and they have a lot of history to them. So we would like the people that are paying attention to this to download everything that you can download on this, not only Facebook,
YouTube.
but the other, what's the
YouTube.
call number on this?
Oh.
www something.
Nah, it's Facebook and YouTube. That's where we.
And the YouTube, what is the one, we got another website where we got all the articles.
Oh, that's that, what is that URL?
As-Sabiqun, well, just give it to me in time.
Yeah, give me a second. I can
Okay.
look it up.
So, the other thing is that, see, we need feedback. We need feedback, and the feedback will come from those recordings. And we want you to take those recordings and send them to us. You can stick your little gadget on your computer and download it and send it to the address right there. So we will be able to get an understanding. What's it?
Yeah, it's sabikundc.blogspot.com. And I'll put the link in the comments.
Okay, you put that'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll put it.
Okay, so those recordings will come to us. Then we'll be able to, and we also want you to make one on the side relating to the feedback you would like us to get, considering what you've heard over the days, months, weeks, and years related to these lectures. So there's certain things that we're dealing with. If you remember, Imam Jamil is almost 21 years ago. When he got his case down in Georgia, nobody responded to it at all. Nobody responded. They just didn't respond. We responded by raising money and what have you. But now, we've been doing this for years, and have you noticed, nobody is responding properly. Either it's not going out like we think it should, or we need to do some other things to make sure that we will be able to use all the information that we have acquired. This is a lifetime of experience, reflection, and information. So we want to be able to inform you, inspire you, and with Allah's help, direct you. Because that was the purpose, to historicize, to archive, to chronicle all of these things that have been going on. And that's what these are. These are reports on the struggle, on the organization, on the history of us and our activities and how people have been responding. We have situations like, if you look at it even around here, you know, everything is done where there's one little piece left off. If we look at 4481, if you look in the sink, it's all perfect except there's one piece that it takes 100 years to find. You know, if we've had someone call the electrician, of course it's on now, but that could have been on months ago. Why do we leave it out? We wanted someone to come and change certain things. Electricity hadn't. The brothers called those permanent people, said they will come, but they never came. They just never came. And all the little stuff that we don't have anything to do with. For instance, electricity and plumbing. But everything that we could do, if you would have walked in that house, you'd have said, it's sagging here, sagging. We just took the regular little stuff, choop, 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 choop. Popped it up, it didn't take no time. But when you walk on the roof anywhere else, in the front or the back, we'd have hooked that boy up, and it's in pocket. And the roof that we put on up there was 1/3 or 1/4 of what they paid for that one, right? Yeah, as the drop came in there. And we overlapped and doubled, you know, and it even looks fine. One thing about it, ain't no water coming in there. There's no water coming in there. But those are things that we do. But electricity, we don't do it. Plumbing, we don't do it. And it's not only there, it's everywhere. If it's something that we don't do, like plumbing and like electricity, somebody stretches it out so it takes 500 years to do a little